Hello, I'm Noah. This is Alexander, Jonathan, Evangeline, Lindsay, Ethan. We are the Whitakers. Back in November or so of last year, my wife and I found out we were pregnant, and we shortly thereafter learned that we were going to expect twins. On March 7th, we went to our perinatal specialist and discovered that our daughter Josephine had passed. 2 days later, on March 9th, they had to perform an emergency cesarean. So they had removed Josephine, and we got to spend some time with her, and Evangeline was then born at 25 weeks. So she's considered a micro-preemie and needed very extensive care.
She was 1 pound, 8 ounces.
Yeah, 11 and 3/4 inches long. So she was very small. I've never been to a Ronald McDonald House. I never really knew what they were. And so it was a social worker that told us about the place and that we wouldn't have to drive back and forth from Visalia to Madera every day or rent a hotel room or something else.
It was like a whole nother world that we never knew existed, or we knew existed, but when you need it, in reality, it's much different.
The very first thing that I saw was, Ronald McDonald sitting on the bench outside of the building, and I knew right off the bat that our 3 boys were just going to be drawn to that. It was an incredible place. I mean, the courtyard and the children's toys and the reading room, the kitchens, all of it was pretty incredible. I didn't expect it to be there.
And Jojo would talk about that we get to live at Ronald McDonald's house, and the whole time he kept looking for Ronald McDonald the entire time we were there. It was like a fun land, for them. And it just helped me as a mom to not feel so bad about the situation that we were in.
Volunteers would come and drop off like knitted hats or beanie babies or just a variety of things. And we think that's really part of what contributed to our belief that our boys really are going to look back on this later in life. And they're going to talk about this with really positive memories about the fun that they had, the people that they met, all the things that they did. And a large part of that was all because of the way the front staff treated them. A meat manufacturing company, Cargill, had come in to volunteer, and they had probably about 12 or so volunteers there at the time that came in to cook dinner for the families at the Ronald McDonald House. In your sort of normal life, you don't really think about meals and eating very much, in a day-to-day basis. It's just something that we do. But when you're in the midst of something that is so incredibly challenging, taking the time and energy to make food for yourself is a pretty big feat. And to have a group of people who they had gotten off work, it was a Friday, so they worked their whole week, and they were giving up a couple of hours of their time to make us food. It's a very significant thing. I can't really point to anything that was as helpful to me personally as it was talking to another father or mother at 2 or 3 in the morning and just seeing how they were doing, and to know that I wasn't alone, that I wasn't the only one who couldn't sleep.
I remember one of the nurses telling us that she had never seen a baby respond to her parents' voices like the way that Evangeline did. She would turn her whole body so that she could see us when she heard our voice. And that was because we were there bedside with her for so many hours. And we couldn't have done that without the Ronald McDonald House.
I'm very excited that the Ronald McDonald House is going to increase its capacity. To see how much of a benefit it is for families to stay there is incredible, and to know that there's going to be even more capacity for that, it's amazing.
I think people think that the Ronald McDonald House is just for the families there, but it's also for the families like in the entire hospital too, that there's services that they can access that's not just if they have a room that they're staying there.
I don't think I would have been able to have been as present for my daughter or my wife or my boys if it wasn't for Ronald McDonald.